It hangs in the air, like the fog floating high above the Cascades. A question often asked of those who call the Stillaguamish Valley home. Where were you, and what were you doing on that Saturday morning in March?
I knew it was big, but I didn't know how big.
The morning life in this serene, picturesque place took a dark turn.
Right over here.
Jeff and Jan McClelland were here.
Let's milk them.
Come on, come on, come on, come
They
on.
were doing just this. Husband and wife feeding the goats that are both their family and their livelihood.
Come on, baby girl.
On a piece of property not far from Darrington.
7 days a week during the milking season, so.
Jeff remembers the rain had finally stopped falling. It was the first dry day they'd had in weeks, and it was a busy one. Jan had gotten up early to help deliver 2 new additions to the herd.
Anyway, she had 2 healthy babies, and it wasn't too long after that. I hadn't even cleaned up or anything yet when the pager went off.
That's the moment when these full-time farmers and part-time firefighters first got word.
911, what is your emergency?
There was a mud fight or something. Hundreds of trees have fallen outside of my house.
The report of a landslide on State Route 530 that initially was almost deceiving to the McClellans and every other emergency responder in the area. Because while it's not uncommon for prolonged periods of wet weather to cause slides in Snohomish County, more often than not, there is minimal damage.
What I remember is that, just that I didn't think I'd be gone that long when the page went out.
It was a single engine response, mud on the road, barn roof on the road. So Jeff said, it's just single engine, you stay here and I'll go.
But this time, they soon learned the Stillaguamish River was completely blocked.
We're hearing more victims out here.
The 911 calls kept coming in,
Oh, yeah, man, I got a big emergency.
each one more panicked
911, emergency?
than the last.
There was a big landslide. Oh, okay, let me turn
It's about mile marker 38.
There's a landslide and everything's gone. The houses are gone.
Jan knew then she had to join Jeff. Their neighbors in Oso were hurting.
I had phoned Jeff, who was traveling down in the fire truck, and he told me to bring our swift water gear.
Several muddy miles later, nothing could have prepared them for what they saw next. A landslide so big, it swallowed a neighborhood and a highway.
It's gone.
320 acres of devastation, stretching out as far as they could see.
It's the kind of event you would never in a million years think that would ever happen. I mean, a mountain fell down and, wiped out a whole community of people. And it was so extreme.
A possible victim to the south of us.
So extreme, it was the first time in Jeff's nearly 2 decades as a firefighter that he found himself choking back tears as he worked.
Adam, back up to that driveway. If you got your swift water gear, put it on for me, please.
That's him,
Give us 4-man power if you can.
radioing back to the command post
I can get to the patient that's seriously injured.
about a patient by the name of Mark Lambert, who loves fishing so much it's hard to find a photo of him without a prized catch in his hands.
He basically has one arm amputated at the present time.
For Jeff and Jan, the stakes had never been higher.
We don't expect this. I don't think anybody really ever expects it.
It was overwhelming. It was gut-wrenching.
And I turned and I put my head down and I started crying.
And perhaps the worst part, it was only just beginning.
You ever have the feeling that you feel like you didn't do enough?